Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
And happy fourth meal, Cipha.
Welcome to the live.
What does that mean?
We're here live together.
We are live together in person. They said it couldn't happen.
They said it wouldn't happen.
They said they got a studio and then they stopped doing shows together in person. And look at us.
Look at us. Here
We're back. And we're even working on a new look. Can you believe it?
We're working on it.
Step by step, piece by piece. Billy June almost killed Thirstin Howl with a microphone. Speaking of which, our guest is here, the Polo Rican himself.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good, people.
Thirstin Howl the third.
I got too many questions.
I'm excited.
Too many questions. First of all, please, before I forget, please tell us your new shit you got coming out right now.
So we don't want to lose that.
Because I'm going to go deep.
Well, this is like my 30th something project.
Yeah.
Thought Skill Illustrated, produced by Mateo Getz. You know, same Thirstin Howl stuff, bangers, punchlines, raunchy music, you know, skilled out shit, street shit, comedy shit.
Love it.
It's a combination of, you know, it's a variety of raw motherfucking hip hop. I hope I could curse here.
You already did. Please.
Part of my
Please curse.
vocabulary.
Now, when you came in, you said you made mention of something like how, and nothing, I didn't even say anything, nothing came up, but you said, I'm not like that no more. You changed your life.
I'm a mature man at this point, man. You know, I have a lot more knowledge. I have a lot more understanding. I got a chance to see a lot more things in life.
Worldly.
To change my perspective and my mentality. Because, you know, I was...
Is this a long way of saying that you used to be a wild boy?
Little something, you know?
And then you mentioned it to me. And then as you mentioned it, I remembered. Did we have a problem once?
Nah, man.
Did you?
I had no problem, man.
You sure? I think maybe you might have threatened me once in the raucous days.
Yeah.
I hold no grudge towards you.
Wait, Cipha, he back to back went, we had no problem. And then you said, you threatened me. And he went, yeah.
You know what? It don't even matter.
Being honest, yeah. But, you know... Like
I
said,
just remembered right now.
It was a different mentality.
I don't even...
Even I ain't have much understanding of the game, you know, and I just was wrong at the time. I could have done things differently. You know?
With me or in general?
In general and with you.
I
I would even apologize at this point to say
my approach
was totally wrong.
I want no apology.
Okay, but can we... Hold on. Both of you. Yeah. I appreciate both of you greatly, especially...
we talking New York shit,
especially
son.
you, Thirstin.
You don't even know, man.
No, I love hearing when people...
Fuck all your Maryland shit, son.
I love hearing when a cat... like evolves in that way. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
But that being said...
Yeah.
I don't want to... Our listeners crave...
I don't even remember.
As much as they love hearing things from our guests, they love hearing unknown stories of our lives. So do you remember what happened with Cipha?
I remember everything.
Oh, then tell us the story.
Please.
Let's hear it. What happened with you?
No disrespect.
None.
Before you even say it, I hold no grudge, no animosity, and I'm a fan. So I only remembered literally right now. I was like, wait a minute, was there something weird?
Cipha, real quick. I just want to be clear, just so Thirstin knows the level of comfort here.
Yeah.
Even if in the story it comes out that he slept with your mom, you're good.
Fine.
Boom. See, there's nothing you can't go to, Thirst.
Yeah.
We're good.
Nah, I mean, Raucous was actually giving me a record deal after I dropped a single with them.
This is after the which single?
After the sound bombing. I had
after the sound bombing,
Brooklyn Hard Rock single, so they was interested in me doing a full length album. So when they presented the idea to me, the idea was also presented with Cipha Sounds being the A&R.
Let's get it.
A&R there,
Yeah. So you know, I remember our first sit down. You know, I was very arrogant at the time. I was brand new to making music and, you know, and understanding music. And I remember in the sit down, I didn't even allow you to talk. I was like, don't never tell me how to make my fucking music. That was my approach, not coming in. Now my understanding of the game and everything, I could do everything you want me to do and still do what I want to do.
Right.
I wasn't thinking that way before.
Right.
This is when you couldn't cross over. Like, I wasn't with making no dance songs. I don't dance.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about the club. I want to make hard body hip hop. I'm a Brownsville.
Yeah.
So, and I remember after me and you had that conversation, the deal went away. And that's what I had remembered. The deal, I no longer had a deal on the table at Raucous. So it kind of went away, and I never got to speak to you about it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So one day I'm just in a club, like doing the performance. There was like a club that had 2 clubs, right? So I'm in one area of the club doing a performance with Dana Dane. Me and Dana's rocking our new joint and all that. I didn't even know there was another club attached to this club where you just open the door. Now it's a gigantic club and it's jam-packed and crowded. And so after we did our show and all that, we walked into the other club. I didn't know it was popping like that. So you was on the turntables. You was spinning.
Oh. It's Cipha. You were in the popping party.
Yeah, nah, exactly.
He was in the underground part.
And you were in the...
yeah, okay.
So now...
You remember the club?
I don't remember the name of it.
Where was it, in Manhattan?
I think it was somewhere near the old Hot 97.
Okay.
Around there, right? Uh-huh. So when I seen you, I immediately like, hold on, my deal went away. I need to holler at you. So I went, I'm very wrong. I went to the DJ booth. Yo, come here, I need to talk to you. The man is working, you know what I mean? I'm being rude.
I'm at work.
Yeah, but I'm also trying to demand it, very ignorantly. So Flex is also DJing. And Flex began to get upset, so he automatically called all the bouncers on me.
I just got a blurry, I kind of remember now. When you said Flex's name, I kind of remember.
And Flex, he did me like this. He told the bouncers, clean this up, like, to get me out of here. And I'm like, my approach was a little arrogant. I came here by myself. So he threw like 4 or 5 big giant bouncers on me. So I'm like, okay. And I walked away. The whole Brownsville is in this club at that time.
I wanted no issues with them.
So all I did was walk around the club and I tapped everybody on the shoulder. Boop, 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 boop. And everybody followed me back to the DJ booth. So I went back to the DJ booth for like 50, 60 motherfuckers, the whole club. And then, I went to the bouncers first because they came at me aggressively. So I'm like, what's up?
Damn.
I need to talk to him. So I'm not going nowhere until I get to talk to him. And Cipha came out and talked to me.
Oh, I would have came out before all this happened. I never.
Yeah, but Flex was like, they got me out of there.
I never, everybody here, well, not everybody, some people know me. I'd never shy away from the talk.
No, you're not a talker.
Because the talk is needed. The talk is so necessary. That's where most beef comes from. When you feel a person won't talk to you, that's where the disrespect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It can be solved with the talk.
The talk is the.
But if you don't have the talk, now it feels like disrespect. So what did he say? What did you say to him when you got his attention?
I don't remember how much I said, but like I said, I felt in my understanding now, my maturity. Whatever I said was arrogant and it was wrong at the time.
Now,
I did not understand how the music business worked yet. I'm brand new. I'm fresh in hip-hop. I listen to hip-hop. I'm a fiend all my life. But I'm an artist now, brand new. I wasn't an artist most of my life. You know what I mean? So,
wait, did you feel that I made the deal go away?
Yeah. I felt because after our conversation, I said, that I refuse to hear anybody tell me how to make my music.
Yeah,
not understanding what an A&R's position is, or
But that wouldn't have been enough for you to try to make it go away.
Even if you said that to me, at that time, I would agree with you. Mm-hmm. I don't want no label motherfucker telling me what to do. I would assume, and I don't remember any of this. I would assume that to the raucous people, that might have looked aggressive.
Yeah, probably.
To that, you know what I mean?
You might have scared off Jared.
They didn't do anything else with me after that. They just kept their distance.
I personally, bro, you know how many A&R, studio sessions I've been in where artists spaz, and I'm like, yo, let's have the talk. Yeah. Like, listen, we need a radio joint. The radio joint, Annie Up is a radio joint. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be Mace and Puffy and girls singing on the hook. Sometimes you need.
Listen, Pharaoh stumbled into Simon Says.
So like
I said, I had no knowledge of how this goes. Now, I got 1,000 radio joints for you right now. Like,
right. What do you need? What do you need?
Yeah, but also, you were also. Now I know how to keep that balance, and work together. It's always a collaborative thing. So I have that understanding at this point.
Well, and you were also learning from people who'd come before you, where the story that was sort of told was, fuck these label people, first of all, and if anyone disrespects in any way, you need to always be 1 second away from spazzing on someone. Like, that was kind of part of the philosophy at that time. You know what I mean? Was that you hear a story about?
I think very deeply.
I mean, with some except, but even KRS threw that ass off the stage. You know what I mean?
Bro.
It was always right there.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one.
That was my life before that. You know, it was very arrogant. It was, you know, and that's what we did. This was normal. It was also promotions. You know what I mean? It was a way motherfuckers promoted themselves. You make noise so where your name gets repeated.
Yeah.
You know? So
this is the joint, by the way, that was on Lyricist Lounge, right?
Oh, nah, that's on the Lyricist Lounge.
Oh, this is the Lyricist Lounge freestyle like joint.
Yeah.
What was
the song was Brooklyn Hard Rock on the sound.
There, that's I see it.
So I mean that was already on there, but after that I only had one verse from that song. It was released as a single, but they put one verse on the album. But that it made so much noise that they wanted me to do an album from there.
Got it.
So, and to this day, man, I've never had a deal.
Damn, and that was probably. So you're saying that was probably the album, the best deal moment you had?
No, I've had some greater ones even after that.
Really?
I've never taken any of them. I mean, I have a huge catalog now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I believe this was just the way it was supposed to go. This was how destiny, you know, provided the path for me to learn to do it myself, because I was always self-sufficient. With no deal, I had to create my own budgets. I had to buy 4 tracks. I had to learn how to mix. I had to learn to engineer. I had to learn to produce, because I didn't have those luxuries of working with a machine behind me. So in that process, I got to learn everything to continue to do it myself and have the longevity I have now. So I believe it was just what was meant to be. So I can't be upset at anything or how it happened.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it. Did it take you a while to get there?
Not at all.
So you didn't have a long period of being like, it should have been me, I should have had.
I've never been a bitter dude. I've never, you can go through all my social media and you'll never find a bitter moment of complaining or anything, because everything is just a lesson you learn, and you either gonna follow up from what you learn and do what you're supposed to do, because I've never been a complainer.
So then what was the catalyst from getting you from hard rock, who was, as you said about yourself, arrogant and going the wrong way, to being the guy who's like, everything's a lesson? What happened in what are, like, you know what I'm saying?
So many, like,
I know it's a lot of things, I'm sure, but is there one?
Age.
Consequences was one, and then the blessings. I was blessed so much in life that it humbled me. You know, like I almost felt like I didn't deserve most of the stuff because of the life I once lived, but all of those things changed me.
Which blessings are you referring to?
Just everything that happened in my hip-hop life and career. You know, I got a chance to see the world. Before that, I was touring the prison system. I got to go to places I never would have dreamed or imagined. Even I made it so far in hip-hop, I never believed I would have got this far.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always the goal, but I never believed it would have actually happened. And it happened on my own. You know, like, that's the greatest thing I could say. No machine or label was ever behind Thirstin Howl to make him a household name. He did that on his own.
Well,
come on, it's beautiful.
That is pretty cool.
I don't remember the incident. I just kind of remember the feeling. I just Brooklyn dudes running up on me at a party. It's never good.
No,
it's never good.
It's never good, but it's important, Cipha. It's an important experience.
But you know, let me tell you the craziest part about it. I didn't even know the whole Brownsville was in the club that night. I'm over here doing an underground show in the other part of the club. I did not know there was another club in there, and neither did I know that my whole fucking neighborhood was walking around in there. And I'm talking about the entire Brownsville was inside of there that night.
So you felt you got disrespected by either me, Flex, or security. You walked away, and then you see a lot of people that know you from your neighborhood.
Oh, no, I knew they was there before I went to you.
At that point.
Right.
Yep. So,
and you know they would ride.
No, everybody rides in my neighborhood. We Brownsville, so everybody sticks together. So I knew everybody personally. I'm not just a dude for my project. I'm a all over Brownsville dude where I hang in every project with everybody, just like Brooklyn. I'm not just a Brownsville dude. I'm a Brooklyn dude. I hang all over Brooklyn, and every project, every dude I meet from jail, whatever, becomes my friend. Yeah. So now I have access to the entire Brooklyn, you know? So it was like that.
That's crazy.
You know? So it was like,
so you're saying,
coincidence, the whole Brownsville was there.
Are you saying I could have died that night?
You know what? It was honestly
Murder would have been a lot.
It was like Flex. His approach was more, the clean this up. Like, I ain't nobody. Clean this shit up. Get him out of here. So I'm like, oh, clean me up.
But you know why? You know why I'm still alive? Because I never. Listen, I ain't no thug. I ain't no street dude. I never like claim to be like, oh, I'll fight anybody. But I always go to the beef and deal with it. And every single time I've done that, I get the respect where the person who was beefing with me then becomes my people's forever because people, I don't know why people, I get why you run away. It is scary.
I've only heard good stuff about you. Man.
Come on.
Like I said,
see?
I believe you.
From everyone, you know what I mean? So it's like, I had to reevaluate myself at some point because I was like that with many people. It's just arrogance, man, not knowing.
But that's how it was back then, man.
So if this is before this is before people thought you were mean. This is when people thought you were like hungry, just wanted to be there, a good stand-up guy. This is before you were bitter, depressed, angry at the world. He was just a skinny kid, getting to play records for Flex.
Come on.
Sean Price was even with me that night. He was.
Oh yeah, Cipha update. You would have done.
He was one of the people. So it was like half low life in there, half low life, half Decepticons, and the rest of Brownsville.
This is what 98.
Around 98, 99, around there.
Yeah.
Were you and Sean P always cool?
Yeah, always cool. Basically grew up together.
So go ahead. So let's do that. Let's take it back to Brooklyn. Early.
Early. 84, I'm a breakdancer. I'm a graffiti artist. I'm touching the trains with my peoples, my boy Has, my boy Beck. I'm breakdancing in front of the projects every day. I'm running around the whole Brownsville, battling everybody and, doing like that. Sean P actually was a rhyme partner with my best friend Has. They was a group at one point, So this was before Helter Skelter, before boot camp, before all of that. So I remember I used to be in jail and I would just call Has House Collect just so I could hear him and Sean P rhyme over the phone and things like that, to get me hyped.
Why were you in jail back then? Because
I was in jail many times, many different
for many different things.
Yes, many convictions. I suffered many consequences, but that is what actually molded me to understand and to walk a straight path.
When was the last time? When was the last time you were not free?
My last time I came home in 94, from 90 to 94. And when I came home from that last...
That's a real one, Cipha. That's an actual...
When I came home from that last incarceration, I was placed on a work release program. And I started working for... Well, first I was in a rehabilitation program, like an alternative to violence thing, which was the Jim Brown program, the American Foundation for Social Change. So I mandatorily had to take the program. And when I took the program... Alternative to
violence.
Yeah, I had to change. It was just a decision process making program that teaches you how to reprogram yourself, think it out, just don't respond, don't react to every little thing. So I really participated in the program when I graduated, they actually came to me and offered me the position to teach the program in prisons and in the work release facility because they needed a peer because everybody in the program is a prisoner on work release. So I took the job, and that job just led me to many other things. It definitely helped transform me, but it got me a job at MTV on work release. So I get to MTV, I'm working over here at on-air promos. I'm working behind the scenes of things.
I remember that.
That lasted damn near 10 years. So I learned.
So if you remember Thirst being MTV?
I remember hearing about it. You
didn't cross paths?
No, that's way before. I just remember hearing he was something to do with MTV.
Yeah, I went in as a production assistant, and the rest was history. I got to learn everything behind the scenes in production management.
Is there a basic philosophy that you remember from your alternatives to violence that changed the way you approach conflict?
Think from A to Z, not A to B. So that was one that stuck with me forever.
And also,
there's many options, to a problem. There are many solutions. Don't just, I always had two.
A or B.
20 or 25, you know what I mean? So,
did you apply? Was this helpful in parenting as well? That's right.
I mean,
parenting question, Cipha.
Wow,
that's right.
This podcast has changed.
It's kind of different because I never believed in beating my children.
But even just as far as solving a problem with them, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'm very open and understanding and communicate very much with the children.
Right. Let's have a conversation about what this could be. It doesn't just have to be direct
Even
to punishment.
now, we have conversations and meetings weekly at a table with notepads. Everybody takes notes.
With who?
With my children.
Oh, your children.
Everybody must have a goal, must have a plan, must have things they have to execute each week. And next week we sit down again, and I want to know what you completed.
This.
Cipha, if you ever meet your kids, this is exactly what you should
I gotta
do.
try that, man.
How many you got?
I got 6.
And what's the age range?
37, 36, 32, 29, 21, and 17.
Yo.
Jesus.
And you got grandkids?
I got grandkids. 3
He's
grandkids.
outside.
Outside,
He was outside.
bro.
Yeah, I was outside early, man.
So give me, okay, I know you talk about this all the time, but this from my personal education, I always I'm fascinated by low lives and all that. So, okay, so give me Decepticons and low lives. Mm-hmm. Both from Brooklyn, both from Brownsville?
Yes.
Okay,
both from many parts of Brooklyn.
Right.
Of course.
So what's the difference between Decepticons and low lives, and how did you, because some people were both.
Yeah,
So how did that happen?
Some became low. Some Decepticons became low life.
Right.
We made it look good.
Yeah.
That was the difference with us. And, Decepticons was out there beating you up for nothing. And taking your Walkman on the train and shit like that. And carrying hammers and hitting people in the head with a hammer.
I remember the hammers.
Taking their yellow Sony Sport Walkman.
Taking whatever. They take anything from you.
Just cause
you were in the path. You know
okay.
what I mean?
So was it hey, we're going to go rob people?
I mean,
right.
Usually, I think most of the Decepticon stuff was born in the high school. So when you're leaving high school, everyone takes the train in New York City high schools and things like that. So a lot of that chaos would begin like that.
So I went to aviation for 1 year, 9th grade, and I've come across Decepticons in those days, and I've seen hammers, literally, not what slang hammer for a gun.
Carpenter hammers, right?
Hammer. So so Sean P.
Sean P. was Decepticon. Smith & Wesson, Decepticon. A lot of dudes with Decepticons.
And Decepticons were all over Brooklyn.
All over
Brooklyn. How could you become one, or how did you get recruited or asked to join?
I don't know their process.
You weren't a Decepticon.
I became a Decepticon later with Sean P. because
honorary.
Sean P. He made me be a Decepticon with him because he chose to take on the double L's as well. So he was like, I'm going to rep the L's, but you have to rep Decept with me too. You have to be a Triggercon.
Right.
So Triggercons was like exactly what it says. You know what I mean? So I agreed. This is my brother. But Sean P. was like his dude. So even within my project, which was a low-life dominated project.
Yeah, which is what projects?
Marcus Garvey Village in Brownsville. So, but it was half of the project was also Decepticon. So a lot of the dudes we grew up with together as well were Decepticons. So, a lot of people throughout history always thought lowlifes and the Decepticons were rivals. And in many places they were, but not in Brownsville. In Brownsville, it was a family thing with both. Right.
I'm fascinated by this. So they're because growing up, now we look back and we know, okay, these were gangs. But growing up in New York City, we never used the term gang because that always made us think of LA, Crips and Bloods or whatever.
Nah, I come from the gang era of the 70s. My family were those. My mother, her brothers, her sisters, my uncle. My house was consumed with gang meetings with, looking like the Warriors, wearing the damn suits. And so I was naturally brought up that way.
Right.
So I was kind of used to the conflict. I used to see my family go to war with other gangs. And, I used to see them bleaching their denims in the bathtub and cutting things up to create their color jackets and things like that. So it was an attitude I already had instilled with me because I was so used to being around it. Even being in the streets, anytime I had a situation or a fight, my mother's like, come on, you're going to go fight. She go make me fight.
Yeah.
And you know,
love moms like that.
And it was always like that. My mother was a fighter. You know, she was a criminal.
Did you ever try to teach her any of the things you learned in Alternatives to Violence?
Yeah, man. I actually got to mature, and she never did.
Whoa.
That blew my mind. That's what I couldn't understand.
That must have been weird too.
But I couldn't understand a lot of people that I know who never matured because my mother never did.
Is she how old? How much older was she? Like, was she young compared to like my mom was super young when she had me.
Yeah, my mother was like 19 or something.
Oh yeah, my mom was like 16.
Yeah, she had my brother around that age.
Yeah.
And things, but my mother was very, very street.
Yeah, so as you got older though, and you start learning these things, when you come back and deal with your mom, it's kind of a mind fuck because you're like, wait a second, the person who was the adult who I was looking to was not seeing things in the way that I as an adult now see things.
My mother was never the adult.
Right, she was just the older person.
She was with the shit at all times.
All times.
She would rather fight than argue. You know, like if you notice on all my albums, my first album is my mother's mugshot.
Yeah.
You know, and so she's a major part of my story.
Wow.
If I got to shoot out in front of my building, I got to run in my house and go get my gun. I got to do it quietly. Because my mother will run behind me with her shit to get it in too.
So to protect your mom and or whoever you're shooting at, you don't want to alert your mother.
Nope, she's with it. She's pulling up.
And that never changed?
Never changed. I used to call her Grandma Dynamite. Yo, Grandma, when you gonna bake some fucking cookies or something, stay home. Like, she hung out all day long. My mother was on the methadone clinic for like 30, 40 years, right? So she went to the methadone clinic like it was a 9 to 5 for years. She's up early, she's on time, she's dressed, and after she go get her methadone and all, she hangs on the block with all the other people, you know, from the methadone clinic. Like, this was her everyday thing.
So
and hustling. She's selling pills, she's selling methadone, she's selling whatever. You know what I mean?
After being at the clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then hustling outside the clinic.
Outside. Everybody from the clinic was outside of the clinic doing that. It's just, this was the environment what it consisted of.
Give me the early low life. How does it start? How can you join it? How did you become a low life?
It was just a brotherhood. Like, dudes lived next door to each other and just trying to survive. That's how low life was born, you know. It was dudes from Crown Heights. It was us in Brownsville, you know, Marcus Garvey Village. The Crown Heights people were on St. John's and Utica. There was dudes from the Bronx that was down. There was dudes from Queens and things like that. My dude, Bar Kim.
Sorry, I talk to, like, I assume everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say. If you
I know I can't. It's too hard. Low lives as a group of dudes that would boost, steal, or however they got just tons of Ralph Lauren polo, right. And it would be the flyest dress gang. When you think of gangs, you think like dirty motherfuckers on the block. These dudes had the flyest gear of all time. To this day, I'm obsessed with polo because of growing up in New York City and seeing all these kids with all this different low on. But you couldn't. Also, I wouldn't wear low because I'd be scared it'd get stolen. On the train, they would take your polo shirt off of your body.
Now, real quick, not to get ahead, Cipha. Would you guys hit people up just for wearing generic polo? Like, even if they were just wearing a red polo joint with the horsey on it, regular polo.
Nah, that's not considered a power piece. Nobody.
But if someone stumbled, if someone's grandma accidentally bought them the sweater with the bear on it, and it was a nicer, harder one to find, it's coming off.
I mean, if we don't know you, that was
right.
Even the dudes who knew each other, like, dudes would go boosting, and everybody got to ride the train back home. The people you with are gonna rob you first. They the first ones to test you. That was part of the low life thing. You gotta hold it down even after you get it, even amongst your own people. Which,
by the way, really speaks to the name low life. It's the double entendre of low life.
But that's how you got your respect. Everything in Brooklyn was about respect, especially in places like that. So you stand up, you fight for yours, then they begin to respect you, and then that shit stops at some point. To where you know you've earned your stripes, they know you're gonna fight back.
So even if you take the L and they take it off you, but you come back to fight another day.
You respect it. You respect it if you show up again after going through some shit. Some people ain't trying to hit it like, I'm coming back. I don't give a fuck. You know, it's happened to many.
Now boosting is a bunch of people from, this is stories I heard as a kid. A bunch of y'all would go into Macy's, and at that time the Polo section was on the first level.
At all times the Polo section is on the first level by the door till this day, no matter what department store you go to.
And that's a placement of, that's Ralph Lauren placing their stuff when you go in.
And then it's usually Tommy Hilfiger right next to him, and then Nautica's right. Every single department store has it like that till this day.
Even after tons of people would go in and grab stuff and leave, they still keep it in the front.
Because it has to be accessible to the consumers when they're walking in. That's usually what they're coming for. So it had to be right there by the doors, and that's what used to.
And this was mostly a New York phenomenon, so they don't need to move it. You know what I mean? Like, even if it was bad here, it wasn't the entire world that they were suffering.
Nah, but lowlifes was traveling everywhere to do it. You know, there was a lot of lowlifes hitting Philadelphia, Connecticut.
You go on missions.
Going, like, cross-state.
What was the first? Did you ever go on any faraway missions for it?
Wait, I didn't get to I'm doing local first.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know.
So how many people go into Macy's? How many of y'all?
There's a difference, like boosting, and then like when there's 100 dudes, there's no time to boost because everybody's racing you to to get it first.
Right.
So that becomes a rush.
100 people would go?
It'll be 100 people sometimes. It's times where people see us and they know where we going. We get fucking tag-alongs just coming, tagging along. People you don't even know.
So you ride the train from Brooklyn, you get down to Manhattan, you get off the train, 100 Brooklyn
running up in the store and snatching everything.
And then other people would see you, be like, oh, we know what they about to do.
And they will follow.
Now, real quick, how do you know, tell us, and this is a lifetime ago, it's a different Thirstin Howl, but what was your mentality as far as the best way to come up? What was your strategy when you guys would roll in of how you were going to leave with the best shit?
You snatching whatever's in your path. So you don't know what's the best shit. There's times like dudes who go boosting, they would target certain things and do what's called like city slicking, where you'll go one or two guys and, you know, you're just quietly doing it, stuffing it, putting it away. But on a rush, it's anything goes. Dudes run out with the mannequin fully dressed. The doors, it was the point where the doors, they got hip to us. They started having automatic locks on the doors when you're trying to leave. Garbage cans start flying through glass windows.
I heard the story of people. They locked the doors and then the display window just broke and everybody ran through.
Garbage cans start flying. And then heroes, you like when you running out these stores, you got these innocent bystanders who want to be heroes and they attempt to get you.
No.
I remember dude coming with Rockwilders and sicking them on somebody, and you know the Rockwilders biting the dude, holding them for the police. But you get really innocent bystanders who look like they never had a fight before. They're probably school teachers or, you know. But it's way more than boosting with lowlifes. It wasn't just a close thing. Lowlifes did all the negative shit that you can imagine.
Okay, let me just get the Macy's part. So who would organize let's say it's 40 people this day. It's a slow day, light day. How do you organize it before the internet, before cell phones? Like, is it every Sunday? Is it every...
I mean, I wasn't an everyday booster like that. I do everything. So I take everything. But some dudes did it like a job consistently, maybe 3 times a day. They knew the meetup time spots. You know, it's either at St. John's in Utica, Rockaway Ave, on the 3 train. And usually when all the lowlifes in Brownsville will meet up at the train station, when they get on that train and 3 stops away is Utica Avenue, soon as you're pulling into the train station, all you see is all the other colors of dudes standing there waiting. And then, you know.
Would you guys wear low to go boost low?
Got all dressed up
every
to do
day.
crime.
All day they wore low.
Just to do crime. You got dressed up to do crime.
Yo, but Cipha, you realize what you just said? You got dressed up to do crime.
Yeah.
Dressed up to do crime.
But wouldn't that be a major tip-off when people see a group of everyone coming wearing low head to toe?
Like I said before, the promotions mattered. We wanted people to know who we were, no matter where we went. Even at the same time, when we went, after we rush a store in the day and clean them out, everybody got the same shirt on that night and we go to the club.
Wow.
And then we got dudes like just changing shirts all night in the club.
That is just...
Because they're laying layers. These
we more stunting on each other because we the flyest We the
Right.
only competition is us.
And
so I got to compete against you because you the fly on my team. So I'm trying to outdo you, you know?
And half of the point was to look fly. And then would you sell the other low that you stole?
Yes.
Okay, so
Dudes would sell the low, but it was more than just polo. You know, a lot of coats were being stolen in the Sherlin era.
Yeah.
The 8 ball.
Yeah, that's boosting.
So everybody bought everything. And whatever you didn't like that you stole, you sold.
Did you ever buy any polo back then?
That's what I was about to ask. You'd still go to the store and buy.
I even had a job at all times. People don't know that. I've always had a job. No matter what I was doing on the side, I always had a job. I always was like worked my job to perfection. I always rose in rank, in position. And the only reason I would lose the job is because I would get arrested for something outside of work, a crime somewhere else.
You didn't steal
never got
nothing
fired
from work?
from nothing. I mean, I ain't gonna say all that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but you didn't get. That's not why you got. It was for outside.
It was
stuff.
outside stuff, you know.
And then,
but I've always had a job, no matter what was.
Would you ever go back? Would you ever go back to a store that you robbed and also spend money at that store to buy polo?
Of course.
But there was no cameras like it is nowadays.
Let me tell you how serious it was. Like on 42nd Street, right, Times Square. I'm also a 40 drinker, so I drink 40s all day. So low lifes, we walk in every store, we pick up every 40, and we walk out. It's just how it's done. We walk in the movie theaters in Times Square. We walk in, we don't pay. We go sit down. So what I would do when you go in the movie theater, you know how you go out the back doors. You get a dude to go out to the back door to hold the doors. A bunch of us go out. We go into the stores, take all the 40s, and then we go back in the movie theater.
Just walk in the store, grab the 40s, and walk out.
So one day I'm on a date with my girl, like on a Sunday, and I'm just
sweet.
Yo,
that's nice.
I'm just walking on the deuce.
Super duper.
I'm just walking on the deuce. I'm walking with my girl. We're going to see a movie. And there's a store. I go to this store all the time and just take all their shit. So when I'm walking by the store, the man is outside the store and he's looking at me. He goes, "Can I talk to you?" He knows I'm here every fucking week doing that shit. And he explained to me, he's like, "Listen, you know, every week you come, you take all my beer." He said, "You know, I'm a gun owner. It's my shop. I'm allowed to shoot you. I can protect my store, but I don't want to do that. Please. Anytime you want the beer, just come tell me and I'll give it to you." So then after that day, every time I came on the deuce, I just say, "What's up? Hey, give me 440s," and he'll bring them out. I never had to walk in the store no more.
Wait. So what was the point then for him? He just wanted you to be polite.
Violence.
He didn't want
a threat of something happening.
Follows, yeah.
Bro, if you run in there and one of them dudes act wild and he might get killed or he might have to kill somebody.
Or there's other customers, it scares them.
Or they might, instead of just taking a 40 one day, they might walk over to the register. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, I'd rather give you
exactly
5,
that makes
6
sense.
40s instead
I actually get that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about this entire conversation is we live in a time where everyone is acting as if the crimes we're seeing have never been committed before. They're just running in the Apple store and they're taking iPhones. No one's ever been so brash before.
It's so much weirder now, though, right? Like,
is it weirder? They were going 100 a time to Macy's and robbing the whole place blind. And I'm guessing
we're robbing McDonald's. We go behind the counter and give out the food to my people. It's so many of us, like,
you can't do anything.
You would not dare, but you wouldn't dare because young, ignorant dudes from the hood.
Some people dared, right?
Yeah.
And they would get pulverized.
Not all the time. Because remember, we teenagers and kids too. So there was times we going against grown, experienced men.
So people would take an L sometimes too.
Yes. I remember one time we on the train once again. We sitting down. Train pulls in. You see a guy standing there with massive jewelry. So, you know, we passed him. So everybody's running through the cars to go back to where he's at. And we're teenagers. I'm still frail, skinny. Everybody's like that. But this is a big dude, a grown man. So when we approached him, I just remember him zipping up his jacket, you know, to conceal the jewels. Yeah. And he started knocking out. Boom, boom. He wasn't having it. I mean, eventually he got pulverized.
Overpowered him, but
it was way too many. But he put in that work. He knocked back the first 5 or 6.
It's like fucking Braveheart.
Yeah, he's
like Jon Snow against 500,000 at one time.
You have to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You have to.
But this was the mentality back then. We've evolved to be, community-based organizations. We're righteous, positive. We don't even allow none of that within our organization anymore. You must be a certain way now. You must be of a mature understanding.
This is the 80s and 90s in New York, man. It's just...
So what is it? So what do the Lowlives do now?
Well, we're an organization within hip-hop. We are exactly following in the footsteps of what Rocksteady did and the Zulu Nation. We are an organization spread throughout the world with chapters in every country now. There's everybody living. It's like continuously growing with no signs of slowing down. Wow. But we also preach love and loyalty. The 2 L's are love and loyalty now. It's not about being a lowlife. It's about having love and loyalty to your people, your family, being a father, being a husband. Our motto was once money, hoes, and clothes. So it's like, who got the most bitches? That's how dudes was on it. But, all that has changed, man. Many have evolved. Even myself through that program, the fact that the program changed me so much, all they asked me to do was to pay it forward. And that's exactly what I did. I've helped transform hundreds of motherfuckers to change their whole frame of mind. Dudes would come home from prison like, yo, how did you do it? How did you change? And I'll show them the formula and, tell them the decision-making process. And I was able to change a lot of people as well.
I mean, I could talk this early low life for days. But so then I was in LA recently. I was meeting with this guy, Gabe. I forgot his last name. And he's a music supervisor. He music supervised the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, it's hip-hop throughout the whole movie.
I heard the commercials.
And Can I Kick It? All through the movie. So I met with that guy, and we were talking, and he said when he was younger, he booked Thirstin Howl for some show at a college, blah, blah, blah. He was so excited. And then he showed me a book, and it's the low life. His book, what's it called?
Bury Me with the Low On.
Bury Me with the Low On. I don't even know if there was words in the book. It's just pictures on top of pictures of him and 1,000 dudes with all this fly polo on. I would go, I got to get this book. Bro, I go online. It's like
thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars to get this book.
How many did you print?
I don't remember.
Not a lot.
You made that book.
I made the book with Tom Gould. The director, Tom Gould. We actually did it together in conjunction.
And all these pictures are yours?
Those are my archives, and the newer photos were actually Tom's, who is also a photographer. He's also the director of the Timberland documentary that they just dropped a trailer for today.
Timberland the Boot?
The Boot.
Wow,
50 years of Timberland.
Wow. Okay, so back then you was just taking mad pictures.
Mad pictures.
Oh, with a disposable camera or like a real camera?
On 42nd Street in Times Square, the Deuce, they had photographers out there. Like when you came out the movie theater, there were tons of photographers with Instamatic Polaroids with these backdrops that would have like the current phrases or the title
large
over here.
Maxin.
Or some designer brand as a background. And we talking like tons of backdrops everywhere. So, I'm always fly, so I always wanted to capture the moment. Also, because I go to prison a lot. I like to show people in prison like my proof of who I am and how
and what you are on the outside.
Yeah. So that's how, we always took pictures, and everywhere we went, I always took pictures, man. And I didn't know I was documenting my life.
Right.
I had no clue. I just know I'm a fly dude. I want to make sure I capture the moment. Yeah.
So where does your low collection stand?
My low collection is different.
Go ahead. Explain it.
Everybody focuses on the clothes. I focus on accessories and furniture, and things like that. Like
rare things.
Rare things that you would have never believed. I got a Polo Barbie doll, man. It's that rare, you know what I mean?
What's the furniture? What kind of furniture they have?
Well, it's more the design. And at MTV, I also worked with a lot of set designers and art departments and stuff. So every room I'm ever in, I turn into a set, basically. So, and it's usually always poloed out, however I could think, like with all the accessories, they would have like basketballs, tennis balls, footballs, china cabinets full of every kind of plate and spoon and fork. I remember
at one point you had was it a polo helmet with a mic?
Yeah, spit screen.
The spit screen taped to the...
I had the spit.
Not taped.
It was actually called the spit boxer helmet. It was first, what it was the boxing headgear.
Right.
And I attached like the metal parts of the speakers to the ear, and I attached the spit screen to it. And then I did an ice hockey helmet like that.
Yeah, I remember the ice hockey.
And I would always polo them out with all the logos. It would be an official ice hockey helmet, but it's low out. They were always my creations, something I made.
Oh, they weren't low. They make those.
Low, but
you put low on it.
When I'm rocking them, nobody's gonna think different. But they were my creations.
Right.
Was there ever any acknowledgement from Polo as a brand?
Can I? I was about to tell you.
Go ahead.
So I'm in Mexico City. Randomly HBO is on, and there's a Ralph Lauren. I'm a huge Ralph Lauren fan. So this documentary's on about Ralph Lauren, and I was like, what is this? So I'm sitting there watching it for about a half an hour, and I go, you know what's crazy? Everything I know about Low is from these guys. And the Low life, they would never, ever even put, bam! Thirstin's in the fucking documentary. I'm like, holy shit! How can... You stole so much shit, but yet you're in the documentary of Ralph Lauren. And then they had Tyson Beckford because he was the first black model for Ralph Lauren. And he's like, man, when I used to see those guys.
So how'd that come about?
So how did you get how did they turn from what you did back then to them respecting it?
I mean, I think it was more of them seeing me as the evolved man and seeing me with my children and photos, my promotions of what I do. I show my family very much. So they seen the difference in me to actually even want to be associated with me. So the director, who was Susan Lacey, she contacted me about, being in the documentary of his life story.
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer. Of course, I'm with it. But even after that,
why would they even contact you?
Because I was the missing link. Remember, I helped create the religious culture of this brand within
in the streets or in the urban community, or
I would just say in the world, because it's spread through what we did in hip hop. It's spread all over the world,
and they acknowledge that.
They acknowledge it. It's a no-brainer at this point. So, everybody acknowledge it.
Yeah,
even to the point where they made me a model. So when my book came out, they started reissuing some of their vintage stuff, which they never did before.
Yeah, they never did that.
My book showed them everything that, was of value and that people were... Because we also created the reseller market where those pieces from back then are going like for $5,000, your jacket and things like that. So they saw the value within what we were doing, and they saw the necessity of me being a part of that. This is how Susan Lacey explained it to me.
Yeah.
And she said, you were exactly what this needed to, finish it off.
The
and
movie.
I have my own section, like in his document.
No, it's a big section.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch this.
I think I spoke more than everybody besides Ralph and his wife.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
It's very impressive of how much they showed you in that doc. And it's not throughout the whole doc. It's one dope ass section.
So back to your collection for a second. Did you sell off a lot of the clothes?
I sell everything. Because I'm always recycling and, You don't
have any, are there any pieces that you wear that are like, I'll never get rid of this? This is my special occasion. Things you really hold dearly, or no? Is it all sort of can move?
Almost everything moves, but there's certain pieces I'm holding for the museums and things like that. Stuff I wore in certain videos, some things that I wore in prison that, have so much history. Those pieces are waiting.
Wear low in prison?
Some can wear low in prison.
Wait, I mean, you didn't have to wear a prison jumpsuit?
Yeah, but you can also, when you're a detainee, you can wear your regular clothes. But then even when you have a state issue uniform and thing, you're allowed to wear tops, or you're allowed to have sweatsuits and robes and things like that. So I always went all out, man.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. Can you say anyone who you know of who has an unbelievable low collection that you admire what they have?
Oh, at this point, many.
Anyone that comes to mind specific?
I would say the Polo King of Japan, Dak Lowe. His polo collection is immaculate. Like in his photos, he looks like he's Bruce Wayne by day and like, you know, the polo hero by night, man. Because that's how his prestigious attire looks.
Right.
You see him in tuxes. He's also like a barber in Japan, to where I think he's the only guy who does fades at his barbershop. So he's in demand out there. But there are many, like, you know, since the whole culture is created now.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there are many collectors that is unbelievable. But, you know, like I said, I collect differently now. So
what about any of the younger up and coming artists? When I say that, I mean over the last 10, 15 years, whatever, the generations after you. Did any ever reach out to you and try to get game or just want to talk to you about Low or get your help?
Everybody. I mean, they just want to have those discussions or talk about clothing and stuff like that. You know, but I don't think anybody needed any help for anything. Like I said, it's a no-brainer at this point. Everybody's rocking Low. But back to the Ralph thing, after the movie premiere and all that, once they got my book, once I was in his documentary, then they re-released the Snow Beach collection.
Snow Beach is the one that
was
everyone
like the
went
grail,
crazy
that's the
for.
Raekwon, in other words. That's the one Raekwon made famous in the Can It Be So Simple video.
Yeah.
But they actually hired me to be the model for the campaign of the Snow Beach. So and then
that must have been
once
awesome.
again, they re-released the 5 Horsemen collection. They hired me again to be the model for the 5 Horsemen
How's
collection.
that feel, bro? It's got to be so surreal.
Oh, but it even went beyond that to where last year Ralph Lauren released the polo shirt book. And it's like this huge book about the history of the polo shirt.
Yeah.
And they featured me in several pages of the book, but I was also the dude on the campaign on billboards all over the world. I'm talking colossal posters, 10 stories high, but all over the world, from Dubai, Japan. Like, the fans on Instagram and all were sending me clips from everywhere. Even when you purchase clothes, now my picture's in the box. When you open the box with your clothes in it, you see me
That's
with
insane,
the advertisement of the book. The greatest part is I was in there with my son, you know, so it definitely helped seal, you know, who I am in hip-hop, you know, and I got to thank Ralph for that, because he helped seal me. A lot of dudes ain't come in hip-hop to extend their hand to help me. You know, I've been in this game for a long time, but his stamp of approval.
What do you? I wonder why he embraces it. Like, you think it has anything to do because he's American? Because, you know, a lot of these European brands, they don't like us wearing their shit. But I think he's...
Well, also, maybe he's
money,
just...
man.
I was going to say, maybe he's just smart.
Yeah,
makes
like
money.
in the 90s, the obsession with young hip-hop fans with Low, it all essentially comes back to that. Even if I didn't know in 95, 96, when I would go to Montgomery Mall in Bethesda and I'd want to buy Polo, even if I didn't know about the Low line specifically, that is the reason I was there ultimately.
Right.
Like, you guys were... Whatever you stole... You made them way more money in marketing than anything you could have stolen boosting.
I believe that when they were seeing, like, you know, from the reports from the store of the missing items, they knew what to manufacture more of by seeing what was stolen. That's how they knew what was in demand.
It's so... such a paradox of what
crazy.
It should be and what... I mean, I guess... what you were doing was making the shit go viral. What we call now viral. Like...
Well, you know, me and all the lowlifes.
I don't mean you. I'm just saying you people.
That's what you had. How you clean it up was you people.
Yeah, you people. And do you wear Low every single day?
Nah.
Is it... Okay.
I'm a working man. Like, I'm always building something. I'm always repairing something. I'm always building a set. I'm always working out. So I dress like a bum, man, all the time. You know, I live in a place where nobody knows who I am. So I don't have to live up to the hype or the expectation. And that's what I love about where I'm at. I don't got to get dressed. Like in New York City, I got to get dressed to go anywhere.
Yeah, to live the brand.
I got
the image.
Yep.
So when you come to, you like, I got to go to New York, do some interviews, and you got to go get the pieces.
I got to spend a couple of days going through the bins.
How much Low did you get when you were doing the modeling and all that stuff?
What you mean, from them?
Yeah, from them.
I mean, they were blessing me. You know,
come on,
they
now.
were giving me pieces. You know.
Hey,
nice.
Hey, real quick, the album title again?
Thoughts Illustrated, produced by Mateo Getz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want you to think
banger.
we're disrespecting. I understand you have a project out right now, and we need to talk about it.
It's all
but
good.
There's so much shit. Was there a TV show or something they were trying to make about the Lowlives?
Right now, I'm doing a situation with Kevin Garnett, Adam Sandler, and Blowback Productions, my good friend Mark Levin, and we have the scripted Low Life series coming.
Really? About the
Low Life story
back then?
Based around my life.
And that's happening.
That's happening.
Congrats,
Is it in production, or where do we stand?
The strike just happened, so we have to wait for that to be
over.
resolved.
It's over now.
Oh, it's over? So
Yeah,
the writer's strike is over.
Yeah, they pretty much
I
worked
guess
out the
we're
deal.
back, you know, we're ready to go into
Oh
development.
my God, that's gonna be so crazy.
So
Who's gonna play you?
I don't know, man.
Can I be in it?
You can play me.
Can I? No, I don't want to play you. You're gonna be a young, skinny you. Can I be the guy from the store with the 40s? Hey, Papa, you don't have to steal. I want to be that guy. I want to be. Come on, I'll give you the 40s.
Yeah,
Can I be like an annoying manager at Macy's? I could do that.
Once casting is happening, hey,
Please find us a random spot.
I will let
that would be
you
a
know.
great Easter egg for an episode that Cipha and I pop up as two random schmohawks.
I can see it though. I can see it.
Yo, man, this has been super duper cool, bro. We've enjoyed this, and I also
I could do this. I could talk about this for hours, man. Thank you so much.
And I enjoy your career too, and your trajectory, and the way that you continue to just create. You know what I mean? You're not the only one like this. A lot of artists of that generation that just found your audience. You know it's out there. Listen, everyone will sit here and shit talk streaming. Because if you're a really rich artist, you want to sell a record and you want it to sell 5 million copies at one time. Mm-hmm. But if you're an indie artist, there's a real beauty to streaming in the way that your music could continue to always circulate and new people can find it and it gets recommended and it gets playlisted and it's just cool. I love the way that you continue to put out music and find your lane while living your life. You know, you're a superhero. You got your 9-to-5 Clark Kent and then you throw on your low at night and are the artist, Thirstin Howl the third. So it's super cool that you're doing it, and we're blessed that you came by, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
I want to please come back because we didn't even touch on hip hop. Like how much, just being friends with Sean P. How much you was probably around Black Moon, Helter Skelter, Smith and Wesson in those days, and then like.
Then the Lyricist Lounge era.
The Lyricist Lounge era.
Eminem. Game
we
Records.
We were the Rap Olympics team together.
Wait, you and Eminem were on a Rap Olympics team together?
You gotta come back, bro.
Olympics.
You gotta come back.
No.
I was at the state. We was on Sway's show when we were rhyming on the radio and he got picked up by Dre. Because we was a team at the time, competing against people.
Right.
So, there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
Saif, how do we leave?
You didn't give him any fashion sense. He dresses horribly.
I mean, he stick to his lane.
He had his lane.
He got his lane.
And it works.
His lane was sweatpants and a t-shirt and eating people to death on the microphone.
Destroyed them.
Eminem used to come to Brownsville and hang out.
Nah,
I heard that. Yeah, I heard
and
that.
Paul Rosenberg.
Yep.
I was just saying this on the last situation I was on. Like
with Nems.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? That Paul used to come out. No, hurry up. We'll get this out before Nems.
Paul would come
Fuck
to
Nems. Let's get this shit out.
And motherfucking and rhyme.
Paul would too?
Paul would rhyme. He would jump in off freestyle sessions and add his input and all that.
Hilarious.
Wow. Yeah.
And Marshall would show up in Brownsville. This is pre being signed, pre anything.
It was like when all of that began to happen. So
because AL was around, right?
AL
used to bring M around to places. Mm-hmm. Hey, where's AL from? He's from Bushwick, maybe
from Queens or something.
No, I think he's Brooklyn.
I'm not even sure.
You're not even gonna accept it.
Nah, I don't know.
You know how you Brooklyn guys. No, how you Brooklyn people are.
Somebody, AL's another skilled artist. I battled AL the day I met him. I'm a battle rapper, so I battle everybody. I ran around just attacking, aggressively, and he was somebody that when I met, I was highly impressed that another Spanish dude could freestyle the way he did. And, I never seen that before, so I need to make sure I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And, we always went at each other that way, very respectfully now.
Yeah.
But back then it was very disrespectful. And, but it's because the skill was there within everybody,
Yo, and real quick, did you have any idea that Eminem was that nice?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You knew like there's a chance this guy blows the fuck up nice, or
I believe
not?
we all felt the same way about each other. That's why we were surrounded so much, and that's why we always looked at one another. I remember Em telling me, yo, I never heard nobody like you. And I would say the same, yo, I never heard nobody like you.
Did you ever blow your kids' minds? Like your 17-year-old, for example, like who could not fully understand, you know, where your situation was. Maybe your 39-year-old is a bit different, right? He was around he's around that era. You ever like, yo, you see 8 Mile comes on, you're like, yo, me and that dude were on a team together. Does it like blow his mind?
They don't care. But I mean, you know, I got the photos. I got all the stuff. I got
Wait,
it.
That's right. You got the photos too.
Yeah,
I got photos of us, you know, traveling and things like that.
How crazy is it that your 17-year-old probably has no clue of how you grew up?
You know what's crazy? I tell him all the time because he be wanting to go outside with the Gucci slides on and the Beats headphone. I'm like, somebody gonna take that? He's like, Dad, that was 40 years ago. That's his response to everything.
Shut up, you fucking idiot.
I mean, that was 40 years ago because we live in a nice neighborhood, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Let me take you to Brownsville and go to the store.
Has he ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you. Let's see how 40 years ago feels now.
I'm trying to figure out how to bring my kids to the Bronx.
I mean, you just drive them around, or get one of those tour buses where you sit at the top. You know what I mean?
Yo, come back and talk hip hop with us, bro.
Hey, whenever y'all ready.
How often you come back?
I come back whenever there's work, so I'm always back and forth for the work. And
he might have to do a photo shoot with Ralph. You know
That could be next week. So
exactly. You never know.
I'll come back, man.
Say less. Thirstin Howl III. Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me, and once again, Cipha, you know. Thank you, and you know,
of course, man. Thank you, bro.
Past is the past,
bro. I never know.
And love is love. I just need to say it. I
appreciate that,
myself,
bro.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, but I'm a fan first.
Likewise,
and I didn't.
Man.
And
all the shit you said about him last week, I could tell now you don't feel that way. All right, thanks, Thirst.
That's what's up. Thank y'all, man.